What's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elias, I'm a photographer located in Athens, Greece, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8 autofocus lens over here. This is the brand new version for Nikon Z mount. It costs around 150, 160 in the website, so it's really affordable for an autofocus lens. And overall, I'm really happy seeing all these new autofocus lenses from third-party companies, because the more competition, the better for us photographers and video makers. So, full disclosure before we continue with the review of this beautiful lens over here. This lens was sent to me by TTArtisan, but they don't get to see this video before it's going out. They don't get to tell me what I'm going to say. Everything in this video is going to be my own opinion, like always. And the way that I'm reviewing lenses is basically I take them out on real world scenarios, and in this case over here I took this with me on a wedding, and I also took it with me on 2 portrait shoots. I tested this lens on professional scenarios in order to see the image quality, the autofocus, and all that good stuff. But before we continue on by talking about the image quality, the autofocus, and before I show you all the other images that I took with this lens, like the ones that you are seeing right now on your screen, let's quickly talk about the build quality of this lens, because yeah, I think this is also a really important part, and I also want to up the watch time of my videos. So yeah, but if you don't care about the build quality, you can always skip to the part that you are interested in, because I will have a few timestamps down below. Anyways, about the build quality of this lens. So this lens is basically made out of metal. Over here the whole body is made out of metal, which is actually pretty impressive, because yeah, at this price point I was expecting everything to be made out of plastic. But yeah, it's a metallic build, it's a lightweight metallic build, so it's nice. I don't have any complaint about it. We don't get any custom buttons, we don't get any AF or manual focus button. So yeah, it's just a complete naked lens. Over here on the back, if we open up the, what is it called? The lens protection, whatever you want it to call it. Over here, like I'm saying, we have a metallic back, which is really nice to see as well. Many Nikon lenses don't have a metallic back, they have a plastic back. But yeah, it's always nice seeing that we get a metallic back over here. It won't get wear down like a plastic back will after many years. Also, a quick asterisk over here, this back over here has a USB-C port, so that way you can do all the future firmware updates for this specific lens over here. Let's put this right back on. Over here on the body we get a nice and smooth manual focus ring. It is really smooth, no complaints over here. It's a typical manual focus ring. I love that we have a bit of texture, metallic texture over here, so we can have a better grip on it. The filter size on this lens is 52mm. It's not big, it's not small, it's a regular size, to be honest. And last but not least, about the build quality, we also get this nice metallic lens cap over here, not lens cap, lens hood over here, which clicks over here on the front of the lens. And to be honest with you, I really love this style of lens hoods. It's really aesthetically pleasing. The only complaint that I have with this is that I cannot fit it like that in front of the lens, so yeah, I always have to carry it with me separately. But what you can do is you can set the cap over here on the front, and after that simply do this. So yeah, you get everything nice and stored in one package. All right, let's talk about the all important image quality, autofocus, and all that kind of stuff that I think most of you care about. So like I said, I brought this lens with me on a wedding shoot. I also brought this lens with me on 2 portrait shoots, and yeah, I have no complaints whatsoever. So let's quickly talk about the autofocus. I was shooting with this lens on the Nikon ZFC, and let me tell you that out all of these images that I took in these 3 photo shoots, only about 10 of them were out of focus. So yeah, the autofocus performance was like I was shooting on a native Nikon Z lens, which is really nice to see, especially on this price point. I was expecting the autofocus to hunt a little bit more. I also have the TTArtisan 57mm f2.8, which is also another autofocus lens that TTArtisan makes, and this one performs a lot better on the autofocus, especially on more darker environments like a church, let's say. So yeah, like I was saying, I took about 400 to 500 images in total in all of these 3 photo shoots, and only about 10 of them were out of focus and not usable. But you can argue that on a wedding or on a portrait shoot, you don't really get a lot of motion, so I cannot really test the tracking all that well, because most of the subjects don't walk in and out of the frame, or they don't walk really fast. So in order to also test the autofocus on a moving subject, I had my model walk from the right to the left on a diagonal line, so we can test the autofocus tracking with this lens as well. Keep in mind that if you use it on a Sony, you might get better results, but if you use it on a Fujifilm, Fujifilm autofocus sucks, at least the tracking. So yeah, let's be the judge of this. We have over here 19 photos in a row, so let's zoom in over here, and the first one is nice and sharp. Over here we have a little bit of motion blur, but this one seems reasonably sharp. This is out of focus, this is out of focus, this one is sharp, this one is also sharp, 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 sharp. This one is also edited because I liked it. Yeah, sharp, 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 and even here where half of her face is in the shadows, and the eyes are closed, it's sharp. So out of all these 19 images, only 2 of them are not usable because they are the lens back focused. We can also argue that she's really small in the frame, but that's not an excuse. 2 out of 19 shots were out of focus on a subject that is moving diagonally. So yeah, I think this is pretty good performance. About the sharpness and the detail of these images, all I have to say is that it's really good. Let's zoom in on one of these portraits that I got over here at f1.8, and as you can see at 100% we get a lot of detail over here on the face, on the eye. So yeah, I'm really happy about the performance that we are able to get out of this lens at f1.8. It's really sharp, it's perfect for portraits, and the more you stop down this lens, it becomes even sharper. So let me show you one image that I got. Just check this portrait over here that we got at f2.8 over here. If we zoom in and we let the image load, yeah, this is pretty amazing stuff. Everything is really nice and sharp. Let's find another image just for the sake of it. So let's take a look at this image over here. We took this at f2. Let's check out the sharpness, and come on, zoom in. Oh my god, let the image load, and wow, just wow, beautiful sharpness on the face over here, beautiful sharpness on the eye over here. Yeah, no complaints whatsoever, just an amazing piece of glass. And yeah, as you can see, in real world scenarios, the images are really nice and sharp. And one more thing that I want to do is I want to completely shut up and play a small montage with some of my favorite images that I took in all of these photo shoots with this TTArtisan 56mm f1.8. Keep in mind, all these images are edited with my Lightroom presets. Some of them have a little bit more grain because sometimes I like to make my images look more filmic, like this black and white photo over here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a few nice images of a wedding and 2 really nice portrait shoots. Alright everyone, I hope you really enjoyed the images that you just saw. One thing that I also want to talk about is the flaring about this lens when you're shooting towards the sun. And I took a few images over here like these portrait shoots over here, and as you can see, it creates that weird effect over here. You can see it in a big fashion over here, but the good thing is that it also kept up with the autofocus. Like out of all these images, maybe 1 or 2 were autofocus when I was shooting towards the sun on a model, and you know that this is a really stressful scenario for every lens, to be honest. And as you can see, we lose a little bit of contrast, but the sharpness is also really nice over here at f1.8. So yeah, I love this image, and the flare, to be honest, for some of you it might be distracting. Personally, I love flares, and yeah, this is a really nice artistic effect, in my opinion at least. You can also take a look at these images over here. Like, yeah, I love this. Look at this. It's a more darker image, it's a more moody image, but what I did here is basically underexposed, and this is the edit basically. So yeah, really nice artistic flares over here, and the autofocus was also really nice in the scenarios. As you can see, we lost a lot of contrast, but this happens with many lenses, but we kept the detail and the sharpness of the image, and to be honest, I quite find these images really pleasing. So after everything that I just showed to you, do I recommend this lens for anyone? The short and easy answer is yes, especially for beginners. Like, yeah, you can't go wrong over here, but this lens is basically for anyone. Like, if you want to save a little bit of money, there's a fly going around here. What the fuck? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, like I was saying, if you don't want to spend a lot of money for your next lens, and you don't have a 56mm, basically a 85mm, something like that in terms of full frame, then yeah, this is a really nice option. The autofocus works really great, especially the eye tracking. Like, it performs like a native Z-mount lens in terms of autofocus. The sharpness is also really nice, and to be honest, like I was able to show you guys, you can do professional work with this lens if you know what you're doing. If you want to grab this lens or check it out, there's going to be a link down below. If you have any more questions about this lens over here, please type them down below, and I will try to get to you as soon as possible. I'm also really curious to see what your opinion is about the images that I showed to you in this video. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your really valuable time by watching my content. This really means the world to me, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace. And for all of those that haven't left yet, a daily reminder to hit the gym.